Who's going to fire us off today?
You want to try it again?
Take two.
All right.
Welcome to the Southern Down Sit Down.
Well, we got a little bit excited on the first one there. The microphone just about exploded, so run it again. And here we are, back in the studio for, obviously, Southern Down Sit Down for 2022.
That's right.
We've had 2 hot starts for the Motorcycle Sportsmen to get us underway for the season. How's everything going? Steve, Troy, how are we?
Great.
Yeah, well, aside from that little jump start I did just there,
Jump start.
thankfully didn't do any of those in the hot start rounds. But
There was a 3-spot penalty for that.
That's it.
Oh, yeah, maybe I'll just get relegated that way. But yeah, it's been a great start of a year. Hot start was awesome. Great numbers of entries across all the classes, and yeah, what better way to kickstart a season with Motorcycle Sportsmen and get some early racing in?
Yeah, absolutely. We had a really good time. We had 2 really good weekends. I'm learning everything that I can about riding a slow bike, which is really challenging. It's humbling in more ways than one, and I can't wait to get back out on it again.
Yeah, I must say, obviously coming from Formula 2
Yes.
into the class they're obviously in now as club pilot, big change for you?
Huge change.
Yeah.
Huge change. Troy's been a huge help as well. Learning how to ride that thing is it's kind of an exercise in patience almost. Kind of like throwing out everything that you get programmed in, and like learning new reference points, braking markers. The lines are different, and what the tires will be okay with. Things that are totally not okay to do to a 600, and learning where those limits are. It's been challenging, but it's very enjoyable. I love it.
Something we haven't discussed obviously before this, but I want to touch on as well as your videos. I really I watched a bit.
Thanks, mate.
I like what you're doing.
Thank you.
Takes some time, doesn't it?
It does take some time.
Yeah.
I'm obviously just learning, so I've got a couple more ideas. In fact, I'm going to go home tonight and work on one. So I've got a few ideas up in the back pocket for the rest of the season. So
Awesome.
See how we go. Yeah.
How's your start been, Troy?
It's been awesome. It's sort of been the opposite to Steve, because I guess Steve's gone from Formula 2 onto the club bike, whereas I've gone off of a club bike into Formula 2.
Yeah.
So it's been really interesting, because I've never actually ridden an R3 before last year. So to step from that back onto the 600 again, it's there's a lot of discipline you can take from the small bike and translate to riding a 600. And while there's still a bit that I've got to readapt to, I think with precision and everything it takes or that's required to go fast on a small bike, if you can translate that and that precision onto the bigger bike, then I think it only helps sort of speed up that process.
Yeah, that makes sense. And you've adapted so well straight away onto the Formula 2 or 600. Again, it must feel good.
It's amazing. I'm so grateful for the opportunity I've got to do it with Team BWR, and just getting out there and having a good couple of rounds with hot start to kickstart our season. And it was just great. And riding those smaller 300s, I think when you're riding them in a group, they're definitely some of the most fun you can have. But say if you're riding on your own, a 600 is definitely better.
Yeah,
more power is fun.
Yeah, which is something I guess with yourself, Steve, that you found that as well. You're packed in a group the whole time.
Oh my, yeah. And slipstream is everything. As Troy knows, I mean, he always talked about hooking onto the train and trying to stay with all the kids and at the front of the pack, and it's a lot of work to do it, but when you can do it, it's very exciting. it's not like much else.
Tell me this: how is it battling with a supermoto bike?
It's frustrating.
I thought it would be.
It's frustrating.
Yeah, because obviously the last hot start we just had.
Yeah.
You guys were tied together
with
for a
F3s,
weekend.
that's right. Yeah.
And I'm like, this would be interesting. I want to ask you that. So good battle though.
It was a great battle. I had two of the 4 races. I had a pretty good battle with Steve Roberts, and it was fun, but frustrating. They have a lot more power. There's obviously a lot more raw horsepower there.
Yeah.
It comes off the corners really fast, especially the slower ones. So, turns 4, 6, and 7 out there. He's coming out a lot quicker than the R3 can. I'm catching him by the time we're at 9 because his top end's not quite as high, and he's not as fast through the fast corners. but he's so wide. And they're actually pretty good on the brakes. I don't think he wasn't trail braking as fast, like pulling as much speed into the apex as I was, but it didn't matter. I wasn't quick enough to get around him, or at least not long enough to make it stick.
Yep.
So, yeah, he's a very good rider, yeah.
It's good to watch.
Yeah.
Honestly, as a spectator, it's good to have multiple. As a competitor, it's hard sometimes, but as a spectator, it's really exciting to watch the different bikes mixing up. So.
Oh, yeah. I mean, obviously, so we weren't racing each other for points.
No.
But he was preventing me from getting to an R3 in front of him, which was a little frustrating, but yeah.
What's been some standouts for the hot starts?
Oh, I'd have to say, probably one thing that caught my attention at the last run was Callum Barker having a bit of an off in qualifying and bouncing back on a bike without a screen. From what he said to me, had no electronics or anything, and I think he still managed to wrap up the series. So I thought that was a pretty gutsy ride to do that, and just seeing, like, I think it sort of highlighted a community within the club. You know, a lot of people coming together to help him get back out there, because after the crash I spoke to him, he was very dejected. He was like, the weekend's over. Looking at a bike, it was believable. But with a bit of duct tape and a lot of love from the sporties community about being made it back out there, and like he actually did pretty well. Like he ended up winning a race. I think it was the last one of a weekend, which ultimately helped him claim the F1 title.
It was awesome to watch.
Yeah, he's a weapon on that thing, man. Yeah, for sure.
What's Albert Baker and the Formula One as well? I think he was on pole, the number 45.
Oh yeah,
he was hooking all weekend as well. Yeah. Like there's some great battles within all the classes, but in Formula One, sometimes there's one standout, and then there's like a group behind, a group behind, a group behind. There's a good 3 or 4 there that was really mixing up the car. Like this is a pretty damn good race actually the whole weekend. Kevin Pelgrave.
I was gonna say Kev was up there.
Kev was there the whole weekend as well. Yeah. I think he might have got one as well, if not second anyway. But yeah, damn good racing.
Oh, the big bikes are always fun to watch. Anyway, they're something else. Yeah.
Let's go to Formula 2. I'm not gonna. You've got no ego. You're a very calm, cool, collected person. You're on rails, mate. How'd that feel?
It felt really good. Like I was gonna make a bit of a joke about Formula 2. I was gonna say, like, there's this really good looking guy I heard that was cleaning up. You said the ego thing, so I had to refrain. But it was really good fun. Like it was just so much fun to be racing 600 again. Like the style of racing is a bit different to the smaller bikes. Like you don't tend to get those trains as much, but no, like triple X-rated race suspension had the bike hooking, and every time throughout each of the races over the 2 rounds we hopped on a bike, we improved. And I think for me that's a big thing, trying to get back up to speed on that bike. And
what was it? 117.7? Is that what we were?
Yeah, I think that's what we got down to.
783 or something.
Yeah. you guys memorise it more than me. But yeah, no, it's all just part of a rebuilding process for me, and I'm having a lot of fun doing it at the Sporties rounds, and like I'm looking forward to Southern Downs and to see who does rock up in Formula 2 to see how we go.
Yeah, no, it looked really good. The rest of the competition, like, was grouped as well. Like there was yourself, then there was another race within the whole F2 field. And some good racing throughout that as well. So
shout out to Ben Travana. He pulled that out. Yeah,
he did really well too.
Yeah.
He got caught up a couple of times too on a couple of starts and that, and had to fight too.
Yeah, he did
really well. So F2 good battles throughout. So
very good.
Absolutely, it's a good. Like again, it's just a good group. Like. And seeing, especially at round 1, like a lot of people cracked for 1 minute 20 barrier for the first time. I believe Ben was one of those, and he not only cracked it, but he was probably closer to an 18 than what he was at like a 20 at the end of it.
Yep.
And just seeing, like that improvement, and you look at that, and a few years back, like before ASPK started coming to Morgan Park, like if you go on the 1 minute 20, it was considered almost like sort of god tier. Now it's like just I think the level has sort of risen, but that shouldn't take away from the achievement of the people in both. And like I guess because we mentioned F1 and F2, like the times people are running, like that shouldn't take anything away from that. Like it's a lot of people are putting in a phenomenal effort, and that's sort of reflecting in the pace they can run.
Yeah, it's really fun to see that skill level come up, and fun to watch people progress across all the classes, like you said. Yeah, it's really.
And we're all working class people.
Yes.
Like I was around Ben's house, like only a few days before, dropping off some fairings for Desmo Sport, right?
Oh yeah.
And he had a living room full. Like he's been in a paint booth for a month. Like, he works like 700 hours before he got to the track. Like, everyone's working class, and to get into those times, even just to get there, it's a huge effort. So everyone should be commended for that part as well. Like, we were working to get there, and some good times and some great racing at the end of the day. You know?
Absolutely. Yeah. Very few of us are getting paid to do this.
No, you're right. And even like with that club pilot program now that the Sporties run, like for me last year, like I guess I particularly learned like how much sort of goes into the preparation, and there's a massive wealth of support that makes it a lot easier with that program. But still, like running those errands and actually like, I guess when I was racing previously, like I was still very, very young, so I had the support of my parents, but this was the first time I'd done it, I guess, independently from that. And I just really, it opened my eyes to how much goes into it. And then even now, like now that I'm a bit older and more mature, seeing like Gary from RBM Racing in Jabung, who prepares like the bikes for our team, just getting a bit more of an insight and understanding of how much goes into, you know, making it possible to race. And that's not to scare anyone off from the sport at all. Like it's an amazing sport and whatnot, but it's just like, it just goes to show that you don't have to necessarily be like a, you know, like even you mentioned Desmo Sporty Caddy, like from the outside they probably look like a big factory team, but then when you get inside, you know, it's just people, you know, everyday people that are working hard to share the passion and enjoy the passion of a sport that we all love.
Yeah.
Well said. Yeah. Yeah, because that is it. Like, you look at a team like that, like they're the factory Ducati team in Australia, but it's a handful of people working tirelessly. You know, it's not some big glamorous building that they're just sitting there a couple of hours a day to do. Like, it's, you got to work your business and then work your team, you know, quite often. So, and same with like Gary as well.
Yeah, for sure.
So, no, that's cool. Formula 3.
Formula 3.
Yeah.
Yeah, those guys are quick.
Good introduction.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, those guys were so they had this last round. They had us and Production 400 combined with Formula 3, and those bikes are something else, man. That field's gonna be fun to watch. I know we lost at least one competitor in that class. That was Jonathan Lucas was meant to be on his super motard out there.
Jono.
Felt bad for him. He had a radiator puncture, and we couldn't get it repaired for him in time. Yeah.
Jono's just rough on equipment.
Like, entered and everything.
Jono.
Like, he's entered. He was there.
He was there.
No.
It was during a practice round or something. He came back in, and the coolant all down the side of the bike, and yeah.
Yep.
And then his R6. Oh.
What was it? Yeah, he had a poor Jono, I think.
What happened? Can you tell me?
He had a gearbox eat itself.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah.
That's a poor weekend.
Yeah, it's a very poor weekend. Yeah. So
There's some good racing, obviously, through that as well. Formula 3 with Production 400 mixed in.
Yeah.
Tough class.
What a field we had, man. Like that. I qualified in 6th in Production 4, but ended up 9th on the grid because F3's in there as well.
Yep.
And so I think Sarah Fairbrother was out on pole on her little Milwaukee.
Yeah, she was. That was
she was flying, and
Absolutely.
so starting from the 3rd row was challenging, and man, I think in one race I got a really good strong start, and then I wasn't able to hold on to it because I target fixated my way off into the grass at turn 10.
So how'd that happen? Were you caught up in a group, or was it just an individual thing?
I was caught up in a group. Yeah. So it was opening lap. It was first lap, and I was right on Gray Cooey's back tire. We were coming through turn 9 and coming into 10, and I had a little bit of entry speed on him, and I thought, okay, just watch, and you got to stay in his slipstream for when we get up on the straight. And I just, instead of looking out where I wanted to go, I'm watching that tire, and before I knew it, I'm out on the apron on the exit. I'm like, oh no! Now I'm in the grass.
Oh, it can happen so quickly.
It happens so fast, and then I watched like 4 or 5 bikes go by.
The good thing, like, that was obviously Sunday.
Yeah, that was Sunday. Yeah.
The good thing was as well, we had fine all day Saturday.
Yeah.
Like, pretty much all day Sunday. Like, Saturday morning, the grass, if you're anywhere out there, it's pretty damn soggy.
Yeah.
You know? So if you can run off on Sunday, you had a bit more time up your sleeve.
That's right.
It was damp on the grass at anywhere around.
Yeah,
the track,
that would not have been a good place to be. Yeah,
Nah.
yeah. I got some pretty good video of it. Actually, I actually posted it up. That was the bike got a little crossed up, but slowed it down and took care of it, and they just had to kind of wait for traffic to go by to re-enter. And
I love the class, mate. But as the commentator, you make it so difficult because a lot of the bikes look fairly similar.
Very similar.
And then you've got 20, I think it's 24 blokes.
Yeah.
So anything over 16, there's 2 screens. Right?
Oh, right.
Oh.
Yeah,
so
you
when
would
you're going
do. Yeah.
over 16, say you'll come across the straight like in a group of 10,
Yeah.
and it'll be on screen 2, so it'll be 16 to 25th. You're like, such and such is crossing 5, 4, 3.
3, 2.
So let's get those entries down. Nah, it's awesome though. Hey,
Yeah.
24 entries, I'm pretty sure it was for that class. Those two
Yeah.
classes combined, so.
From what I understand, round 1 is sold pretty well. I just ran into Karina Pelgrave over the weekend at the ASPK round, and she was telling me that Kev couldn't get in because F1 and F1 Clubman sold out.
No way.
Yeah, it doesn't surprise me. Like, just by
Yeah.
how quickly or how much interest there was for the track day beforehand. Like, I remember I was flying in a plane back from Victoria, and I think I missed it by about an hour, and I'm pretty sure like Group 1 for the track day was sold out
sold
within
out.
that. So it's
wow.
going to be a big one, and it's from a racing point of
Yeah.
view, it'll be awesome to be amongst it. But from a spectacle as well, or spectators' point of view, like
Yeah.
there's going to be some good racing with those big class numbers for sure.
Yeah, there ought to be. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That really is. Like, all the classes were big last time, but to have, consistent classes over 18 plus riders,
Oh, sure.
it's unreal. So, Club Racer, did you get to watch any of it?
Yeah. A little bit. I got a couple friends in there, yeah.
Yeah, bits and pieces.
Yeah.
Like it's great, and I think the beauty of that club racer and what you see a lot of is the first race free incentive with the sporties.
Absolutely.
And when you say that, like that's the first thing that sort of comes to my mind is just that awesome opportunity. And I think Steve can probably highlight on it a bit as well. But it's essentially an opportunity like you can do the track day on Friday, and then once you do that, you can you're eligible for like your first race free, and that's essentially what it is. Like you do the track day on Friday. And then I believe you can enter the clubman or any of the production clubman classes as well.
Yeah.
So it's a really good initiative to, get started at the track. And then when you sort of combine that, like I believe Steve's got an initiative going where he's going to share his garage at Southern Downs round 1 with the first race. So maybe, you can explain that, and it's pretty good how it all works together.
Oh yeah, so if you if someone is taking advantage of it and is a new racer, and like you said, I think you have to come out for the Friday track day. You don't have to do the coaching day on the Thursday, but as one of the coaches, I'll say please come out to our days on Thursday. And then you join up, and I've got a spot in the garage that's right there towards the end of the paddock, facing the track, and there's plenty of space, and you can sit there and work with us. And if you're, especially if you're racing production clubmen, I'll help out, do some pointers, and hopefully get you around the track quickly and safely and have a lot of fun. So I think it's a pretty good deal because you're only paying for the track day, but you're getting 3 days on track.
Yeah, it's fantastic.
Which is great.
And I think with previously in the club pilot program with Tristan involved, I think potentially a few people may have been scared of his parts in the garage, but you don't have to worry about that with Steve. Like he's all good. So it's not only is it going to be quality track time, quality tuition from Steve, but the actual atmosphere in the garage will be very clean as well.
Yeah. So and we're right there.
Sorry, I just had to throw that in. Sorry, Tristan.
We're right there near the RBM guys as well. So there's some exposure there to what their team looks like and what they're doing. And if you've got mechanical dramas with the bike, we can help out. I'm pretty handy on the tools as well. And yeah.
He's a lot better than me. You should have seen me try and change a rear wheel on that club bike last year.
How'd you go?
Oh, well, let's just say no lap records were broken.
Yeah.
Maybe the slowest rear wheel.
Yeah, I'm hearing you. I'm not good at that either. But that, so you're racing obviously, but you'll offer some tuition to some people as well, like some tips and stuff along the way. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's something that I really enjoy doing. I started working for Dave Fuller last year, and I've kind of fallen in love with it. It's a lot of fun to help someone. A lot of it is just overcoming fear, whether that's from the speed or just like jumping into something new and being okay with not being amazing at it, because no one starts this and is amazing at it.
Yeah.
So it's really rewarding to watch people grow. We've got a lot of the kids we've been working with that have really made some huge strides in the last 18 months or whatever. That really fun to watch.
It's rewarding, eh?
It's very rewarding. Yeah. yeah. And it's really fun to see some of them go, and then you go, oh, okay, well, you're going faster than I can go anyway now, so that's let's keep going. Yeah.
There's an interesting topic. Like I had Stephanie Redmond in here,
Oh yeah.
incredible coach, obviously as well, talking about that and about the fast part. And you don't need to be doing lap records to be a coach, though. Hey, it's communication, and that's one of the big skills, isn't it?
I think so, and being able to relate it to you need to be able to relate it to who you're working with. One of the things I started doing this year was I've got a 360 GoPro that I just run on the triple clamp all the time.
Yep.
So if I'm following somebody, I can you've got record of what's happening, and I mean, how many times have you thought, especially when you were younger and you were learning, it's like, oh yeah, I'm doing whatever body position thing. And then you actually see a photo of it, and no, you're not doing that. And so being able to have that immediate feedback and say, here, this is what I'm seeing. I want you to try doing something different. And I think people respond to that a lot faster.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, all of us, most of us are visual learners,
Yeah.
really need that representation, because if you think it in your own brain, it's never the same. It's like coming away from a dirt track race at 12 years old thinking I'm going to win MotoGP championship tomorrow. It's like it's in here, but yeah, you need to be able to see it visually for someone, isn't it?
Absolutely.
Cool.
Yeah.
Club pilot program for yourself, mate. I know at the end of last year,
Yep.
we spoke. You reached out to me about some video stuff that we did here.
Yeah.
Obviously.
Yeah.
How'd it come about for you for this year, mate? And tell us a bit more about everything about it, if you don't mind as well.
Yeah. All right. So so I applied for the program last year, but Troy was selected. No hard feelings. And
this guy.
And as it turns out, I mean, we've actually spoken about this. It's probably played out the best way that it could have for both of us. Get the opportunities at the right times. But yeah, I applied for it again. I had reached out to you. The clip about race starts was really well.
Is that what you used?
That's what we used. Yeah. So
cool.
as part of the application, we had to submit like about a 2-minute video. Just to show that we could do something with media, because that's what they were kind of looking for this year, and so I wanted to include that as part of it, because that was a really fun day for me, and I think that clip resonated with a lot of people that had watched it and stuff. So so I applied for it again. I gave my best effort, and I was selected at the awards night. Is when I learned, and I was completely stunned. Mainly because I had thought that organizers of the club would have reached out to whoever they were selecting beforehand, at least just to make sure that they were going to be present. And so I had no idea. And and I remember I was talking to my partner Renee in the car on the way there that night. I was like, nah, I mean, they would have gotten a hold of me, and it's all good. And and then when they called me up, I was a bit stunned. I was a bit speechless. I think a few people got a kick out of that. So since then it's kind of been a bit of a whirlwind. The following weekend was Hot Start 1, and throughout all the amazing sponsors, RBM and Recondi Race and Road, we got a Row helmet sponsor on board. 'Cause I like their helmets quite a bit, and they jumped on board to help us out. We got all the gear fitted up, and got the bike prepped and ready as best we could. Chris from Triple X got the suspension baseline set up for me, because I'm a little bit heavier than this guy. And we got out to the first round, and it was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun. I learned a ton on that bike, and so I'm starting to get to the point where I'm wanting to push it harder now. So we're getting ready for Southern Downs. I'd like to really be able to contend for some points. Somehow, I still managed to place third overall in Hot Start, which is amazing considering my finishing order for most of the races. But consistency is sometimes the winner. So I'm going to see if we can keep doing that.
So is it the same bike as you rode?
Yeah.
More or less, yes. I think Race DNA have put a quick action throttle on it.
That's right.
From when I had it.
But it's the same actual bike.
Same actual bike, yeah.
Cool.
That's right.
Yeah. Steve's just got it. He must have like a death grip or something on the on the bars, and he needs someone a bit stronger. But no, like it's a great example of you don't need to spend a lot of money to go racing
That's
competitively. Like there's some really trick parts on it, but they're not, you're not going to blow your budget doing that. It's just to make it a good race bike. And yeah, it's a lot of fun to ride. And I look at it now and it's just like, I definitely it brings a smile to my face. I mean, it's just really interesting to see Steve out there, and he's doing a great job both on and off the track, and just to see him enjoying it is, it's phenomenal, and it's a credit to everyone who supports the program to make it possible.
Yeah.
Was that? Did you do the coaching day on the Thursday?
Yeah.
So that was the first time you even got to ride it.
That was the first day I
If
rode
you're
it.
talking
Yeah. That was the first day I rode
Well,
it.
you were straight into it when I started.
Yeah.
Cool.
So,
Nice progression then. Obviously to see that from Hot Start 1 to Hot Start 2.
Yeah, thanks, man.
Good.
Yeah, we're getting there. I didn't quite go as fast as I wanted to on Hot Start 2, but I feel like I had a pretty good reason. I was finding myself overriding the shock, so we're gonna make a couple changes and hopefully it'll be a little more stable. It seems it's a weird thing as things heat up, they don't act the same as they do when they're fresh. So was kind of running out of travel on the rear. So
It's good to have a reason.
it's good to have a reason, but it scared me enough, put me off enough that I stopped pushing towards the latter half of the afternoon. Didn't think it was worth putting the bike on its side. So.
Did you see the video of him, Mick? It was like he was going into turn 11 and the shock's just like bottomed out like properly, like I'm thinking, far out, like he's getting the workout.
It's funny because it was good for turn 11 on the little bikes. It's actually really fun. It was one of my favorite sections of the track on the little bikes because you come out of 10 and you're just flying and just tucking down and holding on to the thing up into fifth gear and just fanning off the throttle a bit and just throwing it into 11 and doing that after about after about 4 laps, and it decided it didn't like that anymore. It was.
And you see it through the video.
Oh yeah, so I had the camera on the tail of the bike, kind of like so you can see the wheel and the exhaust and everything, but you see my right foot. And you can hear a scrape of the peg like dropping on the ground, and you can just see the swing arm just like hammering through the corner. It's like
A little less desirable.
little less than desirable. That's right. Yeah. The zip tie on the shock rod was like buried into the bump stop. When it came back in. Yeah.
I've had that my whole life, mate. No, that's heavy though. That's not good, eh? Not good at all.
Yeah, so we're making some changes. Chris is helping out and see if we can go faster.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Did you see where they jetted off to?
Yeah, well, they're in Thailand.
In Thailand. So we're at ASBK obviously on Sunday.
Yeah.
Then not everyone, but a fair bit of the paddock from ASBK quickly to the airport to fly to. Is it Changi? I'm pretty sure the circuit is.
Yeah.
So off to Thailand. It's huge. And then back for Southern Downs in a week and a bit. So
I did speak with him last night. He said he planned on being at Southern Downs 1. So
yeah, awesome. Formula 4, something we haven't touched on.
Oh yeah.
More great racing, another great class.
Yeah.
Do you get to watch any? I've
got two really good friends in there.
Have you?
Jordy and Amanda on their RVF 400s.
Yep.
Yeah.
He was riding really well.
He was riding amazingly well.
Yeah, he got a couple of either whole shot or second in the really riding really well.
Really well, yeah. I think the first race he was leading it for 3 or 4 laps. Like he was doing really, really well, and then he ended up setting 3 PBs over the weekend, I believe.
Wow.
Yeah, he got himself down in the 28th, if I recall correctly. He was very excited.
Yeah. Some good racing. Like same deal. It's I said it in the commentary. It's one of those classes that's like a backbone of a club.
Yeah.
Without classes like that, there's no club, really. Like, they're the ones that Formula 3, Formula 4, plenty of entries, everyone's communicating together. They're real, pieces of the club. And, he looked good.
He looked great, yeah.
Yeah. And Amanda, obviously.
Amanda did really well. I'd say she knocked 2 seconds off her best time as well, if I recall correctly. Very, very excited. She got a couple good starts and
nice.
Some good battles out there with
Abby. Abby Ray?
Yeah.
I think it is. Yeah. Abby Ray, yeah. So, pretty sure Abby comes from maybe Western Australia?
I believe so.
Pretty sure.
She was in the...
Yeah, I believe so, because she was competing in the OJC, the Oceania Junior Cup on the weekend. And then, I believe she was down with Jaden from WA as well, who was competing on an R3, and it was great to see them at
How cool is that, eh?
Morgan Park. Yeah, I just seen there, like, the get up they had at the track, and like, I may be wrong here, but I think they're staying on the East Coast for quite a number of weeks. So hopefully get to see them at Southern Downs and next weekend. Like,
So the story I got was that they've kind of been just traveling the country and just picking up race meets where they can. Is that?
I think they call that living the dream.
Yeah, I was going to say, as a young racer,
That's how it goes. I'm pretty sure that's what they're doing.
Yeah.
Even to be over here for this time, like that's 3 weeks of racing bikes, pretty much, and then hopefully Southern Downs. Pretty good. Long way to come though. You need to make the most of it.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, I'm pretty sure I picked up on the weekend that it was Western Australia. So
that's very cool.
Sidecars. Obviously, the Turners.
Yeah.
Got the win on the orange LCR.
Yep.
And they just romped away from it.
Sure.
Rode really well. Brand new bike.
Yeah.
Sub 30s. Stoked. Did you see any of it? Or
we watched them. Yeah, so
they're riding really well.
Jamie's gotten really good.
Yeah.
So I swung for him last year at Masters.
Right.
And at the time his PB was a 36, I think.
Yeah. Okay.
Jamie, don't hurt me if I'm wrong, but yeah, his times have come way down, and Shelby is actually really working well with him. Obviously, doing very well.
Yeah, I think they got either 28.3 or 29.3 or something like that.
That's
so
fast,
they were hooking. So, they're just 3 sidecars on the field.
Yeah.
Hard one to call. It's a hard race. But everyone's out there achieving their own sorts of things, and forgive me for not remembering the name, but I think it's Keith anyway. But whole shot, like he starts, is unreal. Like just out of the gate, there's like all this sound and fury, and then they settle into a nice pace. Still 38s, I think, was the pace. Like it's still a cracking pace. But then obviously Dave Buxton and Michelle Thompson running around in third, so some good racing as well. So
yeah.
And I think with that, like, it's good to see, like, what we were doing last year with the sidecar come and try was great, because you get some new people actually get involved with it. Like, I know Nita's got involved with it now. Yeah, and she's doing really well. Like, she was competing at ASPK on the weekend. And it's until, like, I came back last year, like, I didn't actually know too much of a sidecar community, and admittedly, like, there's still a lot of the people that are competing there that I don't know too well, but what I have learned is, what I have seen is it's such a welcoming community, and it's just such genuine and down-to-earth people, and what they're actually doing to try to get more people involved is a credit to them, because, like, unfortunately, I didn't get the chance to swing last year. It got cut short for some reason, but I remember sitting in the actual the cockpit of the bike, and I was just thinking, like, even sitting there and just holding it position was a bit of work, let alone riding it around the track. So credit to them.
Could you imagine trying to shift gears with your right foot?
Is that what it is?
Most of them are right foot shift. Yeah.
The whole thing, like I look at it and just like it's unreal. Like, like on the weekend ASPK.
Yeah.
The sidecar races at ASPK were insane, and I was just like, man, this looks so difficult. Like, good racing.
That would be a very physical track too. A couple of them braking zones at QR.
Oh yeah.
They're fast. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's what Shelby actually said as well. Like, even the straights, like you're holding on so much. It's so fast there. Like, Morgan Park's fast. Yeah. But it's nothing like going down that straight for such a long time. And she said, just holding on when you're down in that position, like, very, very difficult. But they rode really well too.
Yeah, they did.
So,
shout out to previous club pilot and club pilot mentor Tristan for getting the win on the weekend.
That's
and
right.
Sidecars as well. He'll be back at Southern Downs, I believe, on a
Ninja
400. So that'll be good to have him in the paddock again.
Good stuff.
Trying to talk him into racing a 600, but we'll see.
That's
how
cool.
It goes. Yeah.
There's going to be a couple surprise entries in the production 400 class, from what we understand, right?
Yeah, there will be.
Yeah.
So we've got the current, from what I understand, well, I know this part, current ASBK Superbike Series leader will be coming in, Mike Jones. So, which is damn cool. Actually, come out there and he'll be racing Jason Whitehead.
Yeah.
Yep, Jason Whitehead's Race DNA Yamaha.
That's right.
So that'll be interesting. It's been a long time since Mike's been out there on a bike that size, but he puts plenty of laps in a Queensland Mini Moto on him. So
absolutely.
I think he'll be pretty quick straight away. So.
I think he'll be hard to hold on to. I had this dream that maybe that because our power to weight ratio might be a little bit closer than some of the young kids.
Yeah.
But it probably won't matter.
Yeah, tell you what, how good's he riding home?
Oh man,
It looks good.
Yeah, like looking at him on the weekend, like he had that track now on the Yamaha.
Yeah.
Just the way that he rode that and made the most out of the strengths of the Yamaha there.
Yeah.
It was good to watch, and it was just like he's got when it clicks with him, he's got such a smooth style to watch, and he just makes it look so easy. It's just like
it's exactly it. We were
It's you, mate. You were at Morgan Park the other week. It was exactly the same. When
Yeah.
it all clicks.
It's
Damn.
just
Yeah, it was mint to watch, and that's what you can describe Mike on the weekend as well. It's just beautiful to watch someone in that motion.
we were watching the second Superbike race from turn 6 at QR, and every lap he comes around, it's that you can see that back tire just come out and just kiss the white line, and just perfect every lap. It's just like he's just like drawing it in the exact same spot. It's really
That's
fun to
cool.
watch. Yeah,
It's cool. Like with work, I've been able to go to all the tests pretty much. Watch countless laps out there, probably 300 or 400 laps of the riders, and coming down into 3, watching all the different ones coming in. Like
sure.
Crew on the Team Yamaha bike as well comes in, and the thing is just like opposite lock the whole way down, about 150 out. Like this, then Mike is, just out, like you're saying, the back wheel kissing the line, and then just tipping in really, really smoothly and stuff. It's cool to sort of sit back and see those riders.
Yeah.
They're all fast as anything, but they've all got their own. There's a way, but then there's their own way. It's pretty awesome to watch.
Yeah.
So, yeah. This is a motorcycle sportsman show, so we won't talk too much about ASPK, but did you enjoy it back at QR?
Oh yeah.
I mean, I got a ride, so I can't
Yeah.
say I didn't enjoy it. It was awesome.
Good crowd on the Sunday.
Oh yeah.
Sunday.
Yeah.
Sunday.
Full Aussie. Sunday. Yeah. good crowd on the Sunday, though. It was good. Good to
Yeah.
see, So,
Great atmosphere. It was good to have
Yep.
another local round here in Queensland for sure.
yeah. And I think, obviously the next one for Queensland will be at Morgan Park through the club as well.
That's right.
So I think the emphasis for us all will be, the Southern Downs and that. We're going to start getting populated by other riders coming through. So it's going to be interesting to see a few of those wild cards come through, I think, too, over the next few months.
Yeah, wild cards. It might be another 300 on the grid at Morgan Park's ASPK as well. So we'll see if we can make that happen. So.
But you wouldn't be referring to yourself there, would you,
Oh,
Steve, at
maybe.
all?
I
Like,
can
just
tell.
someone put it out there.
Sponsors
Yeah.
want it.
Yeah.
No. Oh, really? Oh, that's cool.
So it's something that we're working on trying to make happen.
Yeah, lovely.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh, no, it'd be nice for it. And it's good to have, club representatives part of
For
those
sure.
things, So.
Well, yeah, and we're all trying to, we're trying to bring more people into racing, especially, at the club level. It's obviously we do this for the passion of it, for the love of it. So,
Yep.
but having that visibility and see if we can bring in some more people.
Sweet.
You can come do this, and you don't need to have a $30,000 R1 to come do it.
I guess the other classes that we need to talk about too is things like production clubman, pre-2K and super twins.
Yeah.
Let's start with obviously production clubman. What are we talking about there?
So we've got so this is for it's beginners on the small bikes.
Yeah.
So we have the clubman class set up for novices or people that are new to racing, and the production class is obviously the smaller, up to 400cc bikes.
Yep.
So this is kind of where they all slot in. Very own one of the club sponsors, Alitech. His wife, Michelle Benjack, is racing in there.
And Michelle's been part of the club and put thousands of laps in there as well.
Ages, yeah.
Long time.
Yeah, well, she rode I believe, an RS125 previously, and now she's transitioned to VR3. And yeah, just Michelle and everyone in, I think that production clubman class is probably my favourite to watch, because you get so many people that are just starting out racing, and that's a go-to, on a smaller bike into production clubman. And seeing the satisfaction of a lap time drop so quickly when they start racing is something that's like, I don't know, it's very second to not a lot, because you get young people like Ashton and Steve that are starting out, and we see Ashton, for example, go and race, and the lap times just drop down significantly.
Yeah.
And even Michelle with Alitech, she's transitioned to VR3, the times are tumbling as she becomes more comfortable with her bike. So it's so cool to just see PBs getting smashed all the time and see everyone having a great time, going faster.
Yeah, absolutely.
Good club class, eh?
It's a very good class, yeah. So, and then with Alitech as well, that's worth mentioning. So we have one of the Club Pilot sponsors is Alitech Racing Components.
Yep.
And it was kind of funny. Last year, Troy was making do with some somewhat irregular pegs. And
Oh, it's just because my right leg's definitely longer than my left. It wasn't because I'm just like, ignorant of the fact that I look right.
Have you got a longer leg?
Oh,
Maybe.
not scientific. We're getting, technical.
we're getting technical about
Yeah.
it.
But no.
No, but no, actually, so Steve had asked me how the bike felt, and I just had to give him some feedback that it'd be nice if I could get the pegs back a little bit further, just to fit and up higher. And he took that feedback and went back. And a week later, he rang me up and said, "Hey man, bring the bike out. We've got some new plates to put on the rear sets." And yeah, we got out there and fit up perfect. And yeah, it's way better. It's way more comfortable. I can hold on to the bike nicer, and I'm not having to work so hard to keep my toes off the ground.
It's amazing the little things that people like Steve and that can actually change.
Oh yeah.
We went out. Obviously, we've had a terrible flood, terrible disaster in pretty much all of Australia in the last few weeks. I was at Steve's workshop the morning that we emptied out Racondi Racing Road. We put a lot of the leathers and stuff into Steve's shed. It's the first time I've been in there since he's been in that building anyhow. And man, like the amount of stuff that Steve does for people, like obviously custom fit stuff and all the rear sets and stuff. It's incredible, hey?
Yeah,
like you wouldn't know. He doesn't talk about it, doesn't do anything. Then you go sit there and it's like, oh man, you do a lot for a lot of people.
He took me around his shop when I was there, and just showing me all the machines. In a past life, I used to work in and around a machine shop. So seeing those kind of tools again and how he is using them and has them set up, that's really cool. I like seeing that stuff.
Yep.
And the way that he's got things set up, it's like you can whatever job he's going to do, like he can do anything.
Yep.
Yeah.
Awesome.
It's really cool.
Next round is in, we're on Tuesday today. I think it's, what is it? It's 10 days away. 10, 12 days away.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It starts. Yeah, it starts a week from Thursday.
Week from Thursday.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, it's coming up really quick. So that's
I got to get the bike ready.
Southern Downs race 1. So crowds are welcome, which is awesome. Last round there was actually a fair few people up on the hill. I did commentary, obviously the first 2 rounds by myself up there, which has been a bit of a change.
Yeah.
And it's good to see people circulating. People are back at the track, and we've seen it on the weekend as well. So people come out, watch, bring your families out, and
absolutely
see some great racing. And it'll be a little bit cooler at Morgan Park by then as well. So
yeah, we'll do.
Yeah,
be nice.
I heard Steve's going to throw an e-slider into the crowd for whoever has the best poster with his picture of his head on it. So I think if you want to sign an e-slider by Steve, yeah, definitely bring that out. But jokes on a serious note.
What poster do you want?
If you can find a photo of Troy and I together, I think that would be pretty good.
Oh, okay.
We'll be able to screen grab it.
We're still on camera.
Everyone's gonna print one, mate.
But no, it'll be awesome, and I think with the restrictions now lifted with the coronavirus, like you mentioned earlier, we might get some interstate people getting arriving at the rounds, and looking at how well the Sporties Club or how they're resilient through the coronavirus last year to allow us to go racing. I think we're only going to see bigger numbers again this year now that we've passed that, and just really can't wait for it. It's going to be awesome.
Awesome.
Yeah, it's a huge event. Speaking of a huge event too, we should mention Jason's mini series. So Jason Whitehead from Race DNA is running in the production club and class we were talking about earlier. Entries in there so he's going to take the winner of that class and provide them with a ride for next year in the production 400 class.
Jeez, he's proactive, eh?
He's putting a lot into the sport.
A lot into it. Yeah.
He's all in. So if you're interested in that, he's got his Facebook page, Race DNA. Go check it out. He's got a big post in there and how to get involved and get squared into that.
And he's got. I was looking at some parts the other week, and he's got a really good e-commerce website as well.
Yeah, he does.
So if you need any parts or anything, check it out too, because he's done. That takes a lot of time, so he's put a lot of work into that as well. So
absolutely,
check that out.
Yeah, absolutely has.
Cool.
Yeah.
Well, this is our first one back for the year. We've had probably about 4 months away. Thank you for coming in, obviously for one thing, but probably a little clunky to start with. But we'll get the wheels lubricated and rolling as the year goes on.
Yeah.
But, yeah, congratulations on being the club pilot. And
Thank you.
mate. Congratulations on getting back onto the 600. It's awesome to see.
Oh man,
Yeah,
So
thank you
fun.
very much.
Yep. So, yeah, thanks to everyone that listened, and we'll see you out there at Morgan Park in 2 weeks' time.
Yeah.
That's all we have time for in today's show. If you get the chance, head over to YouTube and hit subscribe on the Talk and Chatter page. Also, head over to iTunes and give us a star rating and a review there. It all helps to get the podcast out there. A big thank you goes to everyone that's been doing this already, and we'll be back with another show soon.